Greetings and welcome to Live Your Song, building businesses that make a difference. My name's Cheyenne Kramer and I'm here with my better half.
Donald Kramer. Hello, everyone.
And we come to you each week with stories and tools and tips and techniques to help you figure out how you can live your song. Because let's face it, we are living in very interesting times these days. And we happen to believe we all came here with a purpose, with a mission. And if you're not actively engaged in yours yet, when are you going to start? We need you. We need you to get off the bleachers and onto the playing field of life and really start to figure out, what are you here for? How are you here to serve? Because again, we all have special gifts, special skills, and special talents. And my gosh, we need you here using them. Les Brown has often said that the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because that's where so many treasures are buried that people took with them instead of leaving them here. And we need your treasures here now, folks. So let's be getting busy with that idea. So we are excited to have a guest with us today who has spent her life preparing to live her song. And she's doing more and more of it in new and creative ways every day. And so, Don, would you please introduce our special guest?
Oh, with pleasure. Let me introduce you to Carole-Anne Pedersen's journey has been taking several paths, and she believes that each segment has added to the person she continues to become. She's a mother of a son who lost his hearing as a toddler. She's been a teacher to many ages, levels, and areas, even in Seoul, Korea. She had a heart attack at age 47. She is an advocate for clear communication, an educator for those who seek understanding, and a pursuer of the best methods and means for superb health, wealth, and joy. Carole-Anne comes to us today from Calgary, Alberta, in Canada, of all places, and a representative for a nutritional company called Osayo. Welcome, Carole-Anne.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're honored to have you.
Yes.
And yes, we love the fact that the show is starting to go international now. So thank you for being a Canadian guest. We think that is amazing. So Carole-Anne, we want to hear, I mean, we heard a little bit in your intro here about some of your path, but please tell us a little bit more about you and, what were some of the things that influenced you growing up, along with maybe some details about some of these things that Don just read about that have molded you and shaped you into the amazing human being that you are today.
Thank you. And every day is a little journey, right? So every day we never know, but we can have in our mind what we would like to accomplish. So we have to have a reason to get our butts out of bed in the morning. I grew up basically in Eastern Canada, in Nova Scotia, which is the province that's known for things like a lot of rocks along the ocean, the Blue Nose 2, which is a schooner, wonderful fishing areas, and a beautiful province, quite small in size. But I grew up there and had older parents, but one of the things that kind of started me on the journey of health and such as my mom was ill most of my adult life. Actually, not adult life, most of my life, my mom she had a lot of heart challenges. She had, bypasses and lots of medications. She was on 63 pills a day in her last few years. And when she came to visit me from Nova Scotia when I was living in Alberta, she had a shoebox full of pill bottles. So that I grew up with the idea that that is just not right, because she wasn't getting better. But then they would give her something she was taking would give her a symptom, and then she would have to take another pill you know, to fight that. And it was just, all I could imagine was growing up that I remember seeing my mom working hard, but then in bed a lot because she couldn't get out of bed. So that really set a tone for me in my life that something's wrong with how this is happening. She did pass away in 1990. She was 75 at that point. But her physical health was never strong. My dad, on the other hand, was a strong, never went to the doctor, you know, the mighty oak. That's interesting, Dawn, that you were describing the oak tree that you guys are looking at. And I always, you know, considered my dad as the mighty oak in my life.
Wow.
But he died of cancer. They opened him up, and 21 days later, he was gone. So, you know, life has so many twists and turns in it. That was in the early 80s, so a long time ago. So that, you know, those two incidences with my parents' health really made me very aware that I didn't want to follow in those footsteps. You know, my dad, like obviously to have cancer that badly, he had a lot of inner dis-ease, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when the body's not happy or whatever. So, you know, lots of challenges. He had fought in World War II and had a family in England, you know, so lots of history there. But as I left Nova Scotia to come to Western Canada to teach up north in the far north country of Canada in Alberta, in a place called Peace River, I had, you know, I was pretty smart with what I was eating and pretty good eating habits and stuff like that. But I did get, you know, I taught for many years, and I was a French teacher mostly in the beginning of my teaching career. But then after I had my son, I taught basically elementary classes. My son lost his hearing when he was age 2.5. He lost his hearing in his right ear, and age 4, he lost the hearing in his left ear. So we had to move from that location in the far north to the city of Edmonton because there was a hospital school program there that he could go through. So the fact that he lost something that had been working, in the back of my mind, my whole adult life, I've thought, I wonder if the vaccinations might, like, and now there's that big question, who knows?
Right.
Could have had something to do with it, because something that works one day and is gone the next, there's a reason for that. Exactly. So I've been on a mission, basically, you know, to try to see if something could be, you know, done to help that. But anyways, he's grown into a wonderful young man who's now 6'4", and he just turned 35. So he's a man that's working through his world and doing very well for himself in his mindset, and I'm very proud of him. But you know, there have been lots and lots of struggles dealing with that. Like right now, even with the masks, you can't lip read if you're wearing a mask.
Right.
So wherever we go, it's a challenge, but you move through those things. So the health, I started 2 years with the company Viseo, and I just started it because I had more curiosity than anything. I thought, well, the idea of liposomes, which is the fundamental, I guess you could say, backbone of Viseo, is it's a company that uses liposomes, or sometimes people pronounce them liposomes, to deliver the supplements directly into the cells. So for example, when I take the sleep product at night, I take 4 squirts on my tongue and go to bed. And I know that that is going directly into my cells to help my body do what it's naturally going to do. It works with the circadian rhythms in the body, and it's gone direct to the cells. and it's a natural supplement. No GMOs, nothing man-made, created stuff in it. It's all natural. So that's just one of the products. I've had such great success with the pain product, with the supplements, with the immune products. So they've been, the company has been able to find a way to give people results. So from the 11 meds back in my heart attack time, I'm down now to 1 med.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
so I'm taking something that the doctor keeps telling me is temporary, and it has, it's to do with shingles, which I just happened to get right after I had my first shingles vaccination, which is also, yeah, that's, that's called the world of who knows what's in it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And who knows why people are given it.
Well, we know why. It's, the pharmaceutical industry is, one of the most quote unquote profitable on the planet, right? One of many of, yeah. Anyways,
And
I'm not going to
powerful.
go down that pathway. But so that's kind of my journey. My mom, with all her, heart challenges for years and years, and then my dad, who, appeared healthy, bam, 21 days from when they opened him up. So it's that has influenced my health and my, yeah.
I guess. And so you're still doing some teaching. So it sounds like that's part of your passion, your purpose as well.
Yes. Well, teaching is in my blood, right? It's one of those things that I've taught children for many, many years. I've taught adults. As Dawn mentioned, I spent a year in Seoul, South Korea, teaching English, and had a wonderful, I call the whole thing my Korean adventure, because it was amazing living in a totally different part of the world for a year. The teaching that I do right now is a substitute. I retired from full-time teaching June of 2018. And so I substitute now, and, I like to be in and out with the kids, and usually, a day with the kids, I come home recharged because I've had lots of hugs and, stuff like that. So it's a part of my life for the next couple of years, possibly. And then we'll see that, everything is, we do the best we can, moving on the path that we're headed towards.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. So are you, I know that when you're working with a nutritional company and such, there's ways that you get people involved in learning about the products and learning, about how to make money if they decide they'd like to have a business of their own, things of that nature. But I'm just curious, given that you are already very naturally a teacher, how much are you doing to, create your own educational platform to teach people from what you've learned in your health journey and observing the health journey of your parents?
I have kind of taken that path, but in a roundabout way, because for 2 years, like from when I stopped teaching until just a few months ago when COVID started, I was running a meetup group that was part of an international group. So I would, I've always been a connector. I love to connect with people, and I love to have a chance to get to know what's in people's hearts and to speak on that level, and to help them find what is their dharma or their path that they're on, and then to see if there's something I can do to help with that. So I have been for a few years now, since I stopped full-time teaching, a lot of networking on various levels. And so I have people that I share my story to if they're interested in hearing. because I'm not going to share. I'm not going to try to talk to somebody that lives in Hawaii about buying snow tires. If they're not interested, there's so if someone, has a question or they have an interest, sharing it. And that's, people want to build an income and have their products for free, or just basically buy the products, or they choose just to be a customer. And if any of those works for them, excellent. If not, life moves on, right?
It does. It does. But I
But
find
we all have to have an open mind,
Mhm.
because so many things are changing and shifting.
True.
And even more so right now in this crazy time we're in,
Mhm.
that we're moving towards a much better place.
We have to believe that, right? Because otherwise it would be quite distressing watching everything that we're going through.
Right.
But I find it interesting you use the word dharma. I haven't heard anybody use that word in quite a while. So help me understand more. What were you doing to help people to find that dharma?
Well, I started, actually, it's kind of interesting that we're discussing this. Last fall, I started with call it a course, call it an educational experience, whatever, to a course that the couple, they're in Hawaii, in Kauai. That's where they live. They were from the States, and their dream was to move there, and they're there, and they have an incredible circle of people, and they have a process which they call the Master Key Experience. And so through that, creating my Dharma, or my DMP, like my definite major purpose. I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of inner thinking, a lot of studying, not just reading, some of the books that most of us are aware of that are good for the mindset. We study them. And majorly, and have mastermind partners and so on and so forth. So it's an amazing course, and it's amazing, especially since it's only $1 to get signed up, and you can apply for a scholarship. And then it's a pay it forward process. So if you want, I can send information about that to learn a bit more about it. But we have to find our own before we can help other people find theirs.
Sure.
So
how are you doing in that process? That kind of is a great lead into kind of how we like to wrap up the show. I mean, have you started to get a bigger picture of what Carole-Anne Pedersen is here to do while she's still dancing on this planet?
Well, I'm dancing on the planet. Actually, when I was in my 20s, I used to dance on stage. When I lived in Peace River, I was part of a dance group. So there's another little sideline, that, as well as my ex-husband was the Harley dude. So, there's there's a few little nicks and crannies that I've, at some point may share a bit more about, but, life is a journey.
That it is.
I'm very much at peace inside right now, because I'm on my path. And as I'm on the path, with my business with Viseo, I know, like, our mission with the company is to bless 1 million lives. And then when we've done that, to bless 1 million more, so blessing either through health or just the positivity, or, financially. So being a part of that is important to me. But as I mentioned earlier, being a connector. So, through social media, through I'm on a major learning curve with social media at this point, preparing for, the next few months and the next few years, using social media to get connections happening and word out, to help the people who are seeking or searching for someone to maybe point a book to them, or point, a way of looking at something from a different perception,
Mm-hmm.
because everything in our world is based on our perception. And it either helps to see other people's perception as we're moving forward, or it becomes a wall. So I'm building in my world connections with people, to connect for better health, for better mindset, for joy, and to find love, because I know my man's out there somewhere. I just haven't met him yet, you know. So that will come at some point, and I'm very very much looking forward to having a partner that is on the same page as me, and you know, maybe he's hiding behind those bushes behind you guys over there. If you just say, if you see him, just tell him, go on, Carole-Anne's waiting, move it.
Heading for Canada.
I love it. I love it. Well, it sounds like you're on the same kind of general mission as we are. We say that we're out here pursuing health, wealth, and peace for all. And that's pretty much what you just described.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Connecting in different ways, and you know, to be able to have a strong humanitarian, you know, mindset,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then that's where we're going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool deal. You got any final question for Miss Carole?
Well, I'd like to know how people can get in touch with you. How are they going to get hold of you?
Do I just
you can provide anything that feels comfortable to you. Some people give a website, an email, a phone number, whatever.
Email would probably be the quickest, or the, you know, to get started in a conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm also on LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn I'm there as a connector. I'm basically, my role on LinkedIn is not speaking a lot about my business. My role on LinkedIn is helping others move ahead with theirs. So that's the teaching, right? So I'm part of a program that does that.
I mean, that guy behind the bush there.
Call me.
Now call me. Skip the call.
So do I just spell out my email address and my phone number?
That would be a good thing. Yes.
Okay, so my phone number is 403-613-0430. So that would be Canadian long distance to Alberta. My email is CAP, those are my initials, right? CAP, NAN, NAN, which is my nickname when I was a little kid. So capnan22@outlook.com. Perfect. And if somebody uses either of those, they can text me at that number. I can send them my Viseo website, and they can have a look. You know, where that's basically Carole-Anne P. .Viseo, VASAYO.com. So
perfect. Did you get that?
Oh, well, you know, we joke about these things, but when you get other people trying to visualize these things for you, you never know. We're pretty good connectors too.
Well, my cousin who lives in Montreal, her name is Paulette, and she's quite an amazing painter. Like, she's an artist, and she had painted for me, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, because I've been on my own since '98. But a picture of myself and a gentleman by a big tree. So that's why I keep thinking, well, he's going to come, I'm going to see him in the bushes, or we're going to meet in the bushes, or whatever. Anyways, you never know. We've got to giggle and we've got to have joy in our hearts for any reason. Any reason that, you know, raises our energy, raises our internal body messaging, saying life is good and it's getting better every day.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Super duper, lady. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And we look forward to seeing how we can continue to help you into the future. We're so grateful to be connected with you. You know, we love it when we find people who have a similar purpose and passion as us. And, you know, you definitely fit into that space with us. So we're honored to know you, and we thank you for your time today.
You're very welcome. And one final point is with regards to the connecting, I am just in the beginning stages of a new technology tool that I'm introducing to people that I think is going to be massively supportive for people to increase their connections as well as their visibility, as well as their businesses if they're in any kind of a business. So that's just in the beginning stages here. So pretty excited about that. Wonderful to chat with both of you, Cheyenne and Dawn. Thank you for creating what you have created.
You're welcome. And hopefully we'll be reaching a broader and broader audience over time, because we agree with you. In fact, we've spent the last 8 weeks doing a lot of learning about technology and how to be able to reach more people through it as well. So once again, we're traveling on parallel paths, and who knows, maybe we'll find some interesting ways to connect them, because that's part of our vision, is to be able to connect dots, collaborate. You know, there's no reason for anybody to look at each other as competition, because there's always something unique that somebody can bring to the table, regardless of, you know, how similar something might look. So with that, we say thank you all for being with us here today on the Live Your Song show. And, you know, don't forget, we're here every week to encourage you to start living your song. And if you haven't started yet, when is the right time? I think it might be at hand. And we can always be found through wecare-partnerships.com. There's a form right on the front page of that website that if you just fill that out and let us know you're interested in some of the things we've got going on, we'll be happy to reach out to you and see if there's a way that you might fit into our super puzzle for health, wealth, and peace. So until next week, everybody, have a great week.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.